Sometimes the Italian prepositions di and da translate directly to of and from in Italian, but not always. So how do you know which one to use? Well, there's a small set of patterns in Italian that make choosing between di and da insanely intuitive. So in this video, I'll show you what these patterns are and share some simple tricks that will help you pick the correct preposition every time. Now to start, let's fix one of the most common mistakes learners of Italians make when choosing between di and da. Now imagine you're introducing yourself to a tour guide in Italian. She asks, "Where are you from?" and you hesitate. In Italian, how do you say, "I'm from London"? Do you say, "Sono di Londra" or "Sono da Londra"? Now they can both mean from, and you've seen them both used with cities and with places. So which one is right? Well, here's an easy way to remember it. On your ID card, it shows where you are from, your origin. That's your clue. Take the word ID and flip the letters and you get what? D-I, di. So the correct response to di dove sei, where are you from, is sono di Londra. Take a look at these other examples.
Sono di Roma.
I'm from Rome.
Lei è di Milano.
She's from Milan.
Siamo di Napoli.
We are from Naples. Now this works the same way with things too, not just people. Take a look at these examples.
La focaccia di Recco.
Recco focaccia. Literally, the focaccia originates or is from Recco. By the way, if you haven't tried this focaccia, it's 2 paper-thin layers of dough filled with a creamy height of fresh cheese. Take a look at these other examples.
Le ceramiche di Caltagirone.
Caltagirone ceramics. Literally, the ceramics originates or is from Caltagirone.
Una specialità di Napoli.
A Naples specialty. Literally, a specialty originating or is from Naples. So here's rule number 1. When you're saying where someone or something is from, use di. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all these tips in one handy guide, plus a bonus quiz. To get your copy, just click on the link in the description below this video. Now let's take a look at which preposition to use when you're not talking about where someone or something is from. Now, as the conversation with your tour guide continues, you want to tell her about your family, your mum's special pasta recipe, your sister's old Italian car, things that belong to someone. How do you say these things? Now think of a deed like a deed to a house. A deed proves ownership, right? And what does it start with? Di. And that's your answer. The preposition to use here is di, like deed. So whenever something belongs to someone in Italian, you need the deed, di. So to say my mum's recipe and my sister's car, you say
La ricetta di mia mamma.
literally the recipe of my mum.
La macchina di mia sorella.
Literally the car of my sister. See how it works? First the thing, then di for deed, then the person it belongs to. In English, we just add an apostrophe s and we're done. In Italian, we use di. So the second rule or pattern to look out for is when you're saying who something belongs to, use di. Think of a deed. This brings us to the next situation. And once you know this pattern, choosing between di and da will always feel like the obvious choice. So let's go back to our tour guide example. Next, they take you shopping and you spot a gorgeous bag, but you want to know if it's real leather. How do you ask this in Italian? Just like a human, what something is made of is its DNA. That's its origin. So whenever you talk about the material of something, just think of the di in DNA, which will lead you to the correct preposition, di. So to ask this question, we say,
Questa borsa è di pelle?
is this bag made of leather? Literally, does this bag originate from leather? Here are some more examples.
Un tavolo di legno.
A wooden table. Literally, a table originating from wood.
Un pavimento di marmo.
A marble floor. literally a floor originating from marble. So here's your third rule or pattern to keep in mind. When you're saying what something is made of, think of DNA, D. The material is the origin of the object. Same logic, same preposition. Now let's move on to the next pattern to keep an eye out for. Now let's say at the end of your tour, your guide asks you about your plans for the following day, and you want to say to her in Italian that you're leaving from the train station at 8 a.m. to catch a train to Rome. But how do you say that? Well, when you travel, every journey has a departure point, a departure address, the place where you leave from. Now, if we abbreviate departure address, we have di a, and we get da, the correct preposition that you need for this example sentence. Take a look at how we say this.
Partiamo da Santa Maria Novella alle 8 di mattina.
We'll leave from Santa Maria Novella at 8 a.m. Da is always anchored to an address. Sometimes you're arriving at it, sometimes you're leaving from it. The verb tells you which direction you're traveling. Take a look at these examples.
Vengo da Roma.
I come from Rome.
Arrivo da Milano.
I'm arriving from Milan. So here's your fourth rule or pattern to keep an eye out for. Every time there's a movement away from a place, use da. For example,
Arrivo dal lavoro.
I'll arrive from work. Attenzione, did you catch that little change in that second example? Dal lavoro, not da lavoro. That's because da merged with the article il to become dal, which is what we call an articulated preposition where we combine the two. Now don't worry about these too much for now. Just know that they exist and keep an eye and ear out for more of these that will pop up later again in this video. Now this brings us to another problem when choosing between di and da that we can't solve by translating directly from English. Let's go back to our travel guide example. Now while sharing your travel plans with your guide, you want to say, we're going to Tito's, a restaurant that she recommended. How do you say this in Italian? Well, think of it like the internet. Every website has a domain address, a URL, like theintrepidguide.com. And behind every domain, there's an owner, a person usually. Tito is the owner of his domain, his restaurant. And to go to someone's domain, you need their address, their domain address. There's your clue. If we abbreviate domain address, we get da. And this is the preposition that we need to use. And we can say,
Stasera andiamo da Tito.
tonight we're going to Tito's. Literally, we're going to the destination address of Tito. Or,
Vado da Marco.
I'm going to Marco's place or house.
Vado dal dottore.
I'll go to the doctor's office. There it is again, that articulated preposition, dal. I told you it would keep popping up, didn't I? Now to learn how to use and master articulated prepositions, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. But for now, just remember that pattern number 5 is when you're going to someone's destination address, place or domain, think of domain address, da. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which includes all these tips in one handy guide, plus a bonus quiz. To get your copy, just click on the link in the description below this video. Now let's take a look at a situation where English gives us a clue as to which preposition to use. Now say you're back at your hotel and you want to try and find that movie that your guide recommended. She said the film was directed by Fellini. How do you say this in Italian? Well, think of it like this. Whenever you say by someone in English, you're talking about who did the action. It was directed by Fellini. It was written by Dante. It was made by Da Vinci. That word by always tells us who did the action. Now we can abbreviate did the action to da, and da is the preposition that we need to use here. Now in grammar terms, this is what we call a passive sentence. But for now, just take a look at how we translate it.
Il film è stato diretto da Fellini.
The film was directed by Fellini. Here are some more examples.
Il libro è stato scritto da Umberto Eco.
The book was written by Umberto Eco.
La pizza è stata preparata dal cuoco.
The pizza was prepared by the chef. There's that dal again. Da plus il becomes an articulated preposition. So pattern number 6 is, when you're saying who did something or who did the action, abbreviate it to get da. Now let's take a look at when di and da don't follow any of these rules that we've just covered, unfortunately. Di and da appear in a bunch of everyday expressions that Italians use all the time. But the problem is, there's no logic behind them. So what do? Well, the best strategy is to learn them as chunks, that is, as set phrases or set units. Here are some common ones to be aware of that use di. Take a look.
Di solito.
Usually.
Di notte.
At night.
Di mattina.
In the morning.
Di fretta.
In a hurry.
Di nuovo.
Again.
Di tanto in tanto.
From time to time. And here are some very common expressions that use da. Take a look.
Da solo. Sola.
By oneself. Alone.
Da vicino.
Up close.
Da lontano.
From far away.
Da sempre.
Since forever.
Da capo.
From the beginning. Even though you now know how to use di and da, none of this really matters if you can't use all Italian prepositions. So make sure you watch this video here where I explain how to use every single Italian preposition, including those articulated ones that we saw earlier.